So here's that promised upload. Let's try and aim for 15 today, but anyway, looking back on this battle, it's gonna make for a decent upload as it was a pretty good match. But anyway, getting into the battle, he's gonna be leading off with a Swampert, as I lead off with my Celebi predicting that, and I really don't want to overpredict on the first turn, so for that reason I'm just gonna go for the Giga Drain right away, as he actually ends up going out into his Latios, which is a pretty good play on his part, as Latios is a pretty hard counter to Celebi. So I really don't appreciate a Draco Meteor from this Latios, especially if it is a Specs Latios. So for that reason, I'm going to switch into my Jirachi to take it. And judging by how much this Draco Meteor does, he is definitely a Choice Specs variant. So right here, I was predicting the switch out into his Ferrothorn, so for that reason I went for the Fire Punch. And the reason I was predicting Ferrothorn is because Ferrothorn can set up on Jirachi pretty easily, but he actually ends up going out to his Swampert, which was probably the better play, as this means he can set up his rocks while also forcing me out. So of course I'm not going to want to take an Earthquake, so I'm going to switch out and go out into my Celebi, knowing that I can take an Earthquake or whatever he wants to do to me really well. So he actually ends up going for his rocks, which is probably the better thing to do. But anyway, I'm just going to go for the Giga Drain off the bat. I don't want to overpredict again. So he's going to go out into his Jirachi to take it this time. Not a problem. But anyway, judging by how much this Giga Drain does, I'm 100% sure that this isn't a especially defensive Jirachi, but just to make sure, I'm just going to go for the Earth Power just to check. And yeah, he definitely isn't a especially defensive Jirachi. He's most likely a sub-variant with Calm Mind and Thunderbolt, and you know. But anyway, so right here, I know that he's probably just going to go for the Calm Mind. So for that reason, I'm going to switch out and go out into my Mamoswine, just trying to bluff the Scarf and also trying to force him out. And that plan actually does work, because as you'll see in a minute, he's just going to be able to set up a Calm Mind, and then he's going to switch out, fearing the Earthquake and also fearing that I'm Scarfed. But anyway, he's going to send in his Latios here, which was a pretty risky play on his part, as I could have easily predicted that and just gone for the Icicle Crash, and that would have been a dead Latios. But anyway, I'm just going to switch up, go for the Ice Shard right now, as this is a Life Orb Adamant Mamoswine, and I really like using Mamoswine. It's probably one of my favorite underused Pokemon. Well, actually, it's not even underused anymore. It's OU now, I believe. But this battle took place when Mamoswine was still UU. But anyway, he's just gonna go for the Surf and take me out. That is not good, as you know, Mamoswine could have done a lot of damage to his team later on. But anyway, I'm gonna switch out into my Rotom, which is Scarfed, and he's just going to switch out to his Swampert, I guess predicting my Volt Switch. But I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, just in case he wanted to do that. And of course, Hidden Power Ice isn't going to be a 2-hit KO. So for that reason, I'm forced to switch out, because, you know, simply because of the reason I can't touch him. So I was predicting him to double switch, predicting my Celebi switch in. But he actually ends up just going for the Ice Beam, predicting my Celebi. And that means my Gliscor is going to die, as, you know, Gliscor doesn't stand a chance of living a Ice Beam. So that's not good at all, as now I don't really have anything to take on that Lucario that he had on his team other than my Celebi. But he could just predict the switch and go for the Crunch, and you know, Celebi would be dead in no time at all. But anyway, he's going to switch out as I predict that, which was a pretty nice prediction. And now that I have this Ferrothorn crippled, this can open up opportunities later on in the match for me, which is of course good at any time or in any game or whatever. So right now, he's just going to make a pretty pointless play and switch into a Swampert. You know, that was a pretty pointless play, because I have the leftovers now and I can just switch up and go for the Hydro Pump and it'll be a 2-hit KO. So a Hydro Pump is going to get a crit, and that crit did not matter whatsoever, as it would have been a 2-hit KO anyway. So yeah, he's going to live that crit and go for the Ice Beam. And of course, Ice Beam isn't going to do much at all to me, as I do resist that Ice Beam. So right here, I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump and take him out. Except not really, as I missed my Hydro Pump. And I really hate the move Hydro Pump, as I always miss it, and it's really annoying because I miss it at the most important times, and yeah, it's just a pretty annoying move. But anyway, right here I'm going to hit my Hydro Pump and take out the Swampert. So that is really good, because taking out a Pokemon is always good in any Wi-Fi battle. But anyway, down goes that Swampert. I get my lefties, and he's going to switch out into his Jirachi right now. I believe I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch here, just in case he wanted to set up a substitute. Then I can just break it with the Volt Switch and switch into the appropriate counter. But he ends up just going for a Calm Mind, which was probably the better play, as you know, he knows that if he sets up a sub, he's only just going to be wasting his own HP. So gonna go out to my Heatran now, as it's the only thing that could take on this Jirachi that I have left on my team. So right here, I really don't want to play any games with this Jirachi and overpredict. I'm just going to go right for the Fire Blast as he goes for the Thunderbolt. And of course he has nothing to take a Fire Blast from my Heatran, as he has 3 Steel types and he also has a very low HP Latios, and he has a Gliscor, and Gliscor of course won't be appreciating a Fire Blast as it's probably a defensive Gliscor. But anyway, he's going to bring in his Lucario after me killing his Jirachi and just kill me off with a close combat, which is fine as I didn't really need Heatran anymore. But anyway, now that my Heatran is dead, just going to get a free switch out into my Celebi, which means I can set up a nasty plot or do whatever. But I actually double switch, predicting his switch out into his Ferrothorn, and I go out into my Jirachi knowing that I can just get off a Fire Punch. But he switches out into his Latios, which is fine as well, as I can take any hit he wants to go for and get off a Wish and then just recover my HP the next turn. So he decides to lock himself into Thunderbolt, which is absolutely fine by me, as that won't be enough to hit KO me from my range of HP. So yeah, just gonna go for the Wish, and I believe next turn, after he goes for the Thunderbolt, I will just be able to take him out with a Body Slam. So yeah, that is pretty good. So right now, just gonna get that Wish recovery, of course, and he's going to be able to send in his Gliscor, I believe, and then, you know, when he brings in his Gliscor, he's gonna go for the Protect, because he wouldn't want to take a Body Slam, knowing that if he might get that chance of paralysis. But anyway, so yeah, Protect was probably the better play, the best play he could have made at this time. So yep, he's going to get that Toxic Orb activated, and of course I can't one-hit KO this Gliscor, so for that reason I'm going to switch out, not wanting to take an Earthquake, and I think this thing just froze. But anyway, continuing on, I'm just going to go out to my Rotom, and then all these stuff are going to happen, and like going to go out to my Gliscor, and then I'm going to go out into my Celebi, and you know, Celebi's just going to be able to sweep the rest of his team. So yeah, that was a pretty good game. You know, make sure you leave a like, and remember 15 likes for me to upload tomorrow. But anyway, I do have 2 really good matches, one against Quack Penguin X and one against Mephisto. I will probably upload one of those 2 tomorrow if I get 15 likes. But anyway, yeah, I'm Gearflow. So yeah, comment, rate, and subscribe. Peace, guys.